tolling of the bell for the first trading day in the new month of July. And this is the bell for the Nigerian markets roller coaster performance in the first half of 2023. Hello, everyone. This is your Frontier Bell. I am posting number 5. The market went up 1.43% on Friday, solidifying a very solid May and June for the Nigerian bourse, up roughly 19% on the NGX All-Share Index. The market gained 5.3 trillion naira in the first 6 months of the year, after that very dark period of January, February, March, the elections, the new president taking office, and those initial reform action steps on the economy and markets that was taken by the new president. The market's now solidly around 61,000 level. That's the level not seen since the market boom of the first quarter back in 2008, when the market was rolling on the back of the banking consolidation program, which was done 2004 and 2005. So the market is still jumping as we speak. But let's see how the new week, the new month, and the second half of the year will look like. If the honeymoon will be over at least anytime soon, we'll be on the lookout for the earnings for the first half for the Nigerian marketplace in the next 3 weeks into the new month of July. Welcome, everyone. Let's see the BRVM up by 0.33% on Friday. The Egyptian market remained closed for the Eid al-Adha Muslim holiday. We'll see whether the markets will reopen today, Monday, the 3rd of July. The Nairobi stock market, 107.00 on Friday. That's down by 16 basis points, while the JSE went up with the rest of the emerging markets. Bit of a risk on appetite for the global markets touched on the South African JSE Friday, up by 1.5% at 76,000. And that was some good news, despite the bit of treading water for the rand back to around 19 to the US dollar when the market was halfway through on Friday. Today is a brand new morning and the start of a new week. We keep an eye on all these markets and more. Zimbabwe stock market was also on a roller coaster, 800% upside on the ZSE since the start of the new year. Zimbabweans are on edge after seeing the market up a record 800%. Okay, let's touch on with West Africa's top stories, with Kenya planning to do a Eurobond coupons buyback at about 11% or slightly above that to refinance the country's 280 billion shillings debt, which will be due for repayment by June 2024. Part of financial re-engineering that President William Ruto and his team try to do in Nairobi to keep the fiscal balance in place and avoid further debts, looking at the latest $6.3 billion debt program, that relief that Zambia was able to secure just about 2 weeks ago. In the meantime, Kenya's government is asking private investors with deep pockets to step forward and support the country to build high voltage power lines in the country to support the country's electricity sector. In the meantime, Uganda's revenue authority says they see higher compliance, about 39% upside in growth or in revenue because of digital tax solutions that have been brought to bear using technology to get more revenue. And that's what part of what President Suluhu's administration is achieving, what President Museveni's administration is achieving in Uganda. In the meantime, Uganda and Mauritius on the island of the Indian Ocean have reached a new deal on double taxation between both countries, trying to make sure things go well and avoid that, move on with trade. Let's get on to Southern Africa, with Nigeria and West Africa, with the Bank of Africa, the Bank of America, the BOFA, says Fitch Ratings is likely to upgrade Nigeria this year, between now and the end of the year, while S&P and Moody's is expected to follow next year because of the recent reform programs in the economy as far as fuel subsidy is concerned and the FX market reform that the new president is doing, the Central Bank of Nigeria. That's part of the latest report that the Bank of America had on Nigeria. In the meantime, the Central Bank of Nigeria will today restart its quotation at the FX OTC futures window. That will be for FX futures maturing in between 13 and 60 months. Those announcements were made last Friday by the FMDQ Securities Exchange, the central bank stayed away from the market 2 weeks ago as it started to reform its investors and exporters windows foreign exchange market. But again, keep your eyes over the next 10 days, July the 12th, when the FMDQ will go live with the trading in futures, exchange traded derivatives products for 3 debt instruments, the FGN Naira bond, the treasury bills issued by the central bank, as well as the open market operations futures. Those live streaming and the live trading will be on the 12th, and we'll be on top of that for you on Frontier Africa reports. July 6 to 8 is when Africa's finance ministers, the central bank governors, and other officials, including that of the IMF and those of the World Bank, will come together in Cape Verde for another big meeting. Keep that in mind on your calendar as well. So let's touch on with South Africa. Again, South Africa's food index came in slightly sluggish at about 12% in May. The headline CPI, Consumer Price Index, came in to about 3.1%, slightly sluggish. Some good news for the Ramaphosa's administration. The South African Airlines, the SAS, is launching a route to Brazil from Cape Town and Joburg, leading straight to one of the biggest destinations in South America, and that is Brazil. Zambia reporting inflation for the month of June at 9.8%, just a tad of 9.9% that we saw in the month of May. But Zambia could use any positive news right now, as it saw that $6.3 billion debt deal with the IMF and China just about 2 weeks ago. The African Development Bank has launched a country strategy paper for Mozambique in Southern Africa, and that will be for 2013 to 2028. It's about a 5-year program, which is expected to support Mozambique's job creation and help the country get a bit more fiscal balance. And finally, in Southern Africa this Monday morning, De Beers, the world's diamond giant, has reached a new deal with the Botswana government that will keep diamond sales relationship together between these old partners. President of Botswana has been kicking against the share that his country gets from diamonds, which is mined from his country through De Beers, and says it's going to end those decade-long agreements and go for new deals. Now it looks like the old relationships be mended and things will go on fine from now onward. So let's keep that in mind. Let's touch on with North Africa. Still a little bit quiet, but Morocco's stock market was slightly positive on Friday, while Egypt remained closed for the long Muslim holiday. The Egyptian market is expected back on track today. Egypt is launching the Egypt's upstream gateway digital platform to boost the country's oil sector, while Morocco is introduced a subsidy for imports of about 2.5 million metric tons of soft wheat just to get full sustainability in. And China's Tinsley is looking at $280 million battery plant. That's for electric vehicles battery plant in Morocco. And finally, still in Morocco, at Jari Wafa Bank and Therapy have continued their partnership to provide cross-border payment solutions in the North African markets corridor. And those are your headlines this Monday morning. It's your first day in July and the first trading day in the new quarter and the second half of the year. I am Bosun. Have a great day and see you soon.